Okay, good. So, any questions on that? Everything is clear for you?
Just two areas I have doubt, in regard to that, like roles and responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
So roles, responsibilities are now being changed to role, right?
Yes,
In
correct.
Fusion.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
okay,
There is no more responsibility concept in cloud. Everything can be managed by the roles. Example, you're working in a cache management, right? So that can be done from the cache management super user, right? Generally, right?
okay,
But here, cache manager role would be there. That is a difference you need to understand. Okay, so that's how the process which is implemented here. Okay,
okay, okay, got
fine,
it.
fine. Okay, so fine. Others can join, no issues. So it's already 7:03. So maybe try to be join as soon as possible by 7 o'clock. So that maximum case will start maybe by 7:03 or 7:04. So yes, it's initial sessions. Yes, we can go ahead and have wait for 2-3 minutes. But yeah, once everyone is stabilized, habituated to timing, so that we can go ahead and start the session on time. Yeah. Fine. Let's go ahead and talk about the topics today, which are going to be covered here. Okay. So let me start sharing my screen. Can you please confirm? Able to see the screen now?
Visible.
Yes, Nivas, it's there.
Right. Fine. So in yesterday's session, just to understand all these points, whatever which are mentioned, the dates. So what I will do, this sheet I'm gonna share. So with the read-only access, so that you guys can go and refer this, and with respective date recording, you guys can go and refer it, so that all the topics one by one sequence you guys can go and track from your side also. Whenever you do prepare yourself, just open one Excel, same way how where the details are captured, try to maintain one Excel, so that what will happen, it will be helpful to you to understand better the list of configuration, as well as whenever you write something, either maybe in the system or else maybe the notebook, so that will be the better practice or better preparation, so that the naming conventions and the task names, it's easy to remember. Yeah, fine. I know it's a bit time taking, rather copying directly from the Excel and try to maintain it, but yes, maybe hardly it's going to take 2 hours time for all the topics to write it. But if you do that every day, maybe 5 minutes you can spend it by writing all the steps one by one. It will be helpful to you. Okay. Well, so yeah, we can go ahead and start. Session is already in recording mode. Fine. Mm, Offerings, application look and feel, how to enable the offerings, roles and responsibility comparison, FSM page, and how it is working in the EBS system. Everything we discussed, and the project creation, the importance of that project creation. If I create a project, how to assign the offerings under which. Can I go ahead and do the multiple offerings to one project? Means assigning the multiple offerings to one project, how that should be done, and everything which I've discussed. Today, we'll discuss about user creation, the role assignment, what is LDAP jobs, and how also we'll try to understand about difference between the employee user as well as the implementation user. And also we're going to understand about geographical process. Okay. So here onwards, actual preparation is going to start. Yesterday, everything which I've discussed, something just to know the process and as a consultant. And from user creation onwards, actual instance practice should be started. Okay. So user creation, generally, there are two types of users. One is employee user as well as the implementation user. Can anyone tell the difference between employee user as well as the employee user? Anyone? Can you share your thoughts? What is difference between employee user as well as the implementation user?
If someone is hired in the organization, they will get the login credentials and day-to-day business standard activities.
Okay, so who's what is that? Is okay. Go ahead.
Implementation user is nothing but we have to set up the configuration for in the application.
Okay. Who will become as employee? Who will become as implementation user in that case?
Uh, Employee user will create the HCM.
No. Who is going to create? No, I'm not asking about who is going to create this and all. Generally, yes, whatever you said, that's correct. Example, employee user who is going to perform the transaction and implementation user who is going to do the application configuration. So, I mean, basically, how should we know who is employee user and implementation user? I will showcase that. How to identify that is one thing. And whenever you are going to create that, how shall we know who is going to be part of employee and who is going to part of the implementation user and all? That's what my question. Share anyone. I mean, others. It's not about an individual. So talk anyone in case if you have an idea on this.
So implementation user refers to generally the partner who is implementing this Oracle on behalf of the client. And this another one is employee users are the part of clients' payroll employees.
Yes, perfect. You're perfect. So basically, yes, implementation user is partner. Example, let's take you are working for MasterCard or else you are working for some XYZ client. The company called maybe Deloitte is doing a implementation. That is a partner company or consulting company. So, for example, Abhishek is working on behalf of Deloitte. You will become as implementation consultant. Example, let's take Pradeep is working from the MasterCard company. So, you will become as an employee user. Okay. How shall we identify that employee user and implementation user and all? I'm going to demonstrate that. Not only from the partnership company or else maybe consulting company. For example, MasterCard side also, same like example, Saujanya is there. Example I'm taking. Okay. Saujanya is a IT consultant recruited directly for the MasterCard. Okay. Yes. Abhishek will do the consulting, I mean, implementation on behalf of the Deloitte Consulting. But companies will recruit one or two people, specialized candidates for their side also. Because, for example, if you don't have a senior consultant or else maybe experts from the business side, whatever they say, like example, consulting company, we need to simply follow that. If someone is there, so that we can go ahead and have understand the process better, we can share our thoughts, the expectations and all. Yes, that user also can be become as an implementation user. Yes, we'll give a privileges. How the implementation user will get a privileges and all, we'll go know what is the rule and all, talk about that. Okay? Are you clear on the definition? Employee user, implementation user, all of you? Shall I
Yeah, yes,
consider?
sir.
Yes, yeah, fine. So let's go ahead and create a user. So how to create a user? How to create a user? Let's go ahead and do that. So let me go ahead and copy that information. Where is that? URL details. Hmm. This is our latest instance. Okay. So I already pinged in the group in case if you did not check, just check and try to start. Whenever you notice something like, if the instance got refreshed, immediately update in the groups so that I will share the latest. If I identify, definitely I will share that latest ones. Okay. This is the instance which we are trying to demonstrate. This is going to be creep refresh. Okay. Weekly once, twice. Depends. That is something which is not in our control. Okay. Fine. So yeah, this is your homepage, which you already discussed in yesterday's session, right? So here, there are some, whenever you do any implementation, there are some mandatory roles to be assigned. What are those? One is application implementation consultant. Another one is IT security manager. And we need to assign the employee role also to get some defaults. Employee role is a abstract role, so that whenever you assign the employee role to respective user, will get a default privileges. Okay, we'll discuss about that. What are those and all. So here, this is the user which is already created in the system, and you can see the setup and maintenance is showing here. Setup and maintenance. This would be the main activity to start doing a configuration. Without having this, you cannot go ahead and do any configuration. This is a thumb rule. It's a mandatory thing which you need to do. Mandatory thing which you need to do that. Okay. So setup and maintenance. Why this is coming and all, let's go ahead and understand about that. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about. Fine. Let's say setup and maintenance. Setup and maintenance is coming because of IT security, sorry, application implementation consultant role is assigned. Okay. And other thing is here under tools, you can see the security console. This is equivalent to system administrator in the EBS. If you have a system administrator, you can go ahead and assign the roles, the responsibilities to the user. Under here, you need to assign the roles to the user. That is the difference you need to understand about it. Okay. How to define under, let's go ahead and do. So here, if I wanted to create an employee user, I need some BU, I need legal entity and all. So we are in initial stage. For that reason, I am not creating any employee user at this moment. We are going to create the employee user once all the application is ready. Okay. For that, what we can do, first try to create the implementation user. How that should be created? Tools, security console. Security console. So here, let's come back to the users. Let's come back to the users. Here, if the user is already created in the system, you can go ahead and query it. That is straightforward. Example, HCM-IMPL1, the user which we have logged in now currently. This is the user which for login purpose I am using, but I wanted to create it our own user. How to do that? And let's go ahead and see. This is the one, HCM-IMPL1. So let's click on this. The moment once you click on here, the user information can be shown here. And also other roles assigned it. ASM, application implementation consultant. This role is assigned to this user. For that reason, whenever I try to log in with this user, I can go ahead and see the setup and maintenance. This is the first and foremost thing you need to understand. Just I'm trying to give a justification why this role, this activity is added because of this role. And also IT security manager. This is assigned to this user. For that reason, this security console page, whatever we are navigating here, the page is coming here that, or else let me showcase here. Under tools, you can see the security console. If I click on this, that will be directed to here. This is coming here because of the IT security manager role is assigned. An employee role is going to be there, so that here some defaults will be there. Example, I will talk about it. Okay. So these three roles mandatory you need to assign. I already updated in this Excel. Okay, you can check it. Yeah. Example here. In our case, let's go ahead and use the user called as OORG1. This should be the naming convention going forward for our configuration. AORG1. Let's copy this. Okay, or else give a name also. User. Okay, like this. You guys can go and create your own naming convention. Whatever the name you wanted to use it, you can use it. But recommendation is just try to start with a letter and followed by whatever you want to do it, you can go ahead and do it. No problem. Okay. So if I assign this role, what I said, setup and maintenance is going to come. If assign this role with the respective user, from the security console will come. If I assign this employee, some mandate defaults will come. Okay, let's go ahead and define it. First, whenever I define the user, I don't want to assign any roles. Okay, before assigning the role and after assigning the role, how it is showing and all, we'll discuss in detail about that. Okay, so fine. Let's again come back here. Here I've queried it. I wanted to create a new account or new user. See here, add user account. Add user account. Guys, in case any queries, please stop me. Okay. So if you guys are following, that is better. That is well and good. In case any queries, just stop me immediately so that I can explain in detail on in case if you have any queries. This is your email ID. This is your user ID. Okay, you can give like a underscore user. Use this underscore user. Okay.
Uh,
Underscore.
Nivas, I have a question here.
Yes, please.
So Nivas, for the first time, suppose we are a partner and we are implementing this Oracle for a XYZ company.
Mhm.
So when we purchase the license for the Oracle, so one login credential, this credential will be provided, right, to us?
Yes, yes, yes. Example, in our case, we are using this HCM, right? Example, yeah, this is the one.
Yes.
This
So
way, this
so
way we'll get it.
this credential that will be provided, it will be provided by Oracle, right?
Yes, 100%. Yes, you are correct.
So
With that, we can go ahead and log in, and you can go ahead and start doing your own user and assigning the roles and start doing your configuration. Exactly, we are doing the same.
okay,
Got it?
got it, got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
S- So
So,
like this
mhm.
sorry to interrupt. So
Yeah.
this user ID will be having all the roles assigned to it, and from there, as a mirror image, we will be assigning required roles to our customized users, right? That we will create.
No, no. Can you come again? I'm sorry. I miss.
I'm telling that
Mhm.
this user ID, which Oracle will be providing it, it will as all the roles will be assigned to that user ID, right? And from there, when we will be creating our own user ID, we will be assigning the respective roles to it.
Yes, exactly. But one thing that even though whatever the role which is going, whatever the user which is going to be provided by the Oracle, we don't need other roles. Just we need application implementation consultant. Even also that is also not required. If we have a IT security manager role to that user, we can simply come here and you can go ahead and add it. Got it.
Okay,
Other roles, it's there or not there. It's not at all going to be affect our continuation process, configuration process. Just we need IT security manager role to be assigned to that respective user, which is providing by the Oracle. We can go ahead and assign respective roles with whatever the role, whatever the user which are going to be created. Okay.
okay, got it.
Yeah. So here I am updating this username and password. See here. Remember another important thing. The user which we are trying to create as an implementation user. For implementation user, no business unit is required, no legal entity is required. Because this is something the user which is going to be working on behalf of third party or else maybe some consulting company. Okay. If the user within organization, the client side, if you want to define it, that can be done by the HCM team, Human Capital Management team. User can be created from three ways. One is from the the security console page. Another one is from the manage users page, and another task would be there for the HCM people dedicatedly from same like how we are navigated here. They will have one page so that they can create from that area. Three ways we can do. This we are trying to understand the concept today, and will do employee user creation from the manage users task. How to define it? If you want to define the employee user, what privileges supposed to be completed, I may consider like as a prerequisites. Example, BU to be defined, legal entity to be defined. In the system, seeded legal entity and seeded business units which are there, but I don't want to use that. We wanted to create from the scratch to understand the concepts thoroughly. Okay. For that reason, I'm not much focusing on the employee user at this moment. I'm just trying to create one user, which is implementation user. So how this why I'm saying this is implementation user, after assigning these roles, automatically this user will become as implementation user. Okay. So here, let's try to save and close. I am not assigning any roles. Remember, save and close. This is going to be active, and let's make a note of this user. Going forward, we are going to use this user. Okay. So where is that? Yeah. Let's copy this. Okay, let's come here. So if you wanted to search it, yes, the ones that is saved, you can go ahead and search it, but ensure the spelling and all everything should be same. So yes, I can go ahead and assign the roles and all. If you wanted to log this, yes, we have flexibility. Let's say click on edit, then only this will be editable. I can go ahead and log this user. I can go ahead and deactivate this user. I have this flexibility. Okay, fine. This user is created now. So let's say done it. Now, whatever this user, which existing user, we can see setup and maintenance. I can see lot many things which are there here. Okay, task and all. So let me log out from this user. I wanted to log in with our user, which we created it. I wanted to showcase the importance of the role assignments. Okay. So Oracle at the rate 123. Let's just sign in. If you enter some wrong password, system won't allow you to log. See, generally, whenever you log in with the HCM user, you can see lot many fields which are there here. Under tools only, I see only this. I don't see security console and all. And also here, under here, I don't see any setup and maintenance and all. Only I see application, about application and all. That's it. So what is the reason, guys? What is the reason behind why this user is not having all other privileges? What could be the reason? Any one of you, please?
Because the roles are not assigned. We
We
need to
don't have
assign.
a
Yes. Roles are not assigned to this user. So for that reason, system is showing as expected. Okay. So that, so you can consider that the roles are going to be play very key role in this. Okay, just I wanted to showcase this example, not only for this initial activity. Tomorrow, whenever you do the AP or whenever you do the AR or FA or any other SCM, it's not about your financial stream, any streams I'm talking about. Every individual module or options you need to assign seeded roles. Seeded role you wanted to assign it, or else you wanted to define the custom role also fine. That is totally depends on the business. But here, as part of our training, we are going to assign the seeded roles for each respective module wise configuration. And we are going to discuss about custom role from the scratch, how to define the custom role, so that how to restrict the privileges by defining the custom role. We'll take one example and we'll discuss about, okay? When we are going to discuss about custom role, we'll discuss in detail. But at this moment, try to understand the importance of the role. Okay, fine. I just verified I don't see any other privileges which are added because of roles are not assigned. Yes, we are good. But if I wanted to assign the roles also, I need IT security manager. The security console. How the security console is going to come? IT security manager role to be assigned. What I need to do again? Again, I will go ahead and sign out. Log in with the HCM user, whatever which I've used initially. Yeah, just again come back here. I'm trying to use this. Okay. Let's duplicate the window. So always try to open multiple windows. It's going to save your time in case you wanted to perform multiple activities. Okay. So again, come back here. Tools, security console. This again, I come back to the old user. That is our Oracle, which is provided. Okay. Consider that way. Okay. So here, AORG is our user. This search with 3 characters will be sufficient to fetch it. If I search with 2 characters, system won't throw here. You must enter at least 3 characters. Okay. Fine. Okay. This is done. And let's say open it and again edit it. Still, if you wanted to reset password, yes, you have flexibility to reset it later point of time. Yeah. And edit it. Now let's say add the roles now. I wanted to add. What roles I wanted to add it here? Application implementation. Application spelling is incorrect. You can see application implementation consultant. Don't look for other things. Okay, consultant, because and also ORA, it's going to be starting with that should be a seeded role. Oracle seeded role. It means that. Let's say assign it. IT security manager. I wanted to assign 3 roles at a moment. Okay. Let's say okay. Next, employee. Employee or for employee abstract. Let's say okay. Okay, how shall I know these roles are assigned this tomorrow in case whenever you do support project or any implementation project and all. So if you wanted to check, for example, one user is having what roles are assigned and all, you can come here and you can check it from here. Okay, application implementation, this assignable, and you can ignore it. If you enable it, if you disable it, does not matter. Just they have given just tick mark, but it's not at all going to be affect anything on the assignment part. Okay, if you want to disable it, you can disable it, no problem. Okay, application implementation consultant, IT security manager, employee. Yes, this is done. First, I wanted to assign these three roles. Yes, let's say save and close. Once the privileges are added with this user, going forward, I am not going to use this user. I'm going to use this user, whatever which I've created, because this is sufficient to create a new user. This is sufficient to add the roles to the user. And this is sufficient to continue configuration entire process irrespective of module or irrespective of stream, either SCM and all. This will be the common activity to be used or common role to be used to assigning to the user. Okay, let's say done it for yes. Now it is completed. Okay, once this is completed, immediately user will get a privileges to the, access and all. So user creation which I've done, yeah, and role assignment which I've done, yes. Okay. So here we need to submit the LDAP jobs. Of course, this is not required. This is,
Nivas,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry to interrupt. Can you go to that screen? Just note down the roles names.
Yeah, this one, application implementation consultant, IT
Yes,
security
yes.
manager, and where the employee.
Yeah, just give me a moment.
Good, guys, try to make a notes from your side also. Okay, so that definitely it will be helpful. Yeah, I know maybe in fact 5 minutes per day, but that's fine. Okay, but if you guys are understanding the concept, I'm very much happy.
One is application, second is
Employee and IT security manager. Write in a short way or whatever whatever you feel comfortable. And as I said, this sheet anyway, I'm going to share it to you guys so that you guys can go ahead and check it from here also. That should be there. Okay. But yeah, try to make a notes. That is, best practice.
yeah, done.
Yeah.
ITC.
Yeah. Let's say done. So the moment once it is completed, the user, when I try to log in our user, it may not affect immediately. For that reason, it's a recommendation. It's not a mandatory process. It's a recommendation by the Oracle. Submit the LDAPS program. Submit the LDAPS program. What is LDAP? Lightweight Directory Access Protocol. What it's going to do? Let me showcase that. The moment whenever you assign any roles to any individual user, you need to run the program called as retrieve LDAP changes. What it's going to do? It will synchronize the users roles, and role grants definition means whatever the users which we have assigned the roles. In our case, our user, we have assigned the roles to get the grant privileges and all. For example, if I assign the application implementation consultant, user should get a setup and maintenance task to be added. If I assign the IT security manager, security console to be added, right? That way, system is going to synchronize everything. For example, let's take 5 people are there. Okay, 4 people already created the users and assign the role. Let's take last. Maybe Anil is doing to create each user and complete the role assignment. Yes, previous already 4 people already done, but they have not submitted LDAP jobs. If Anil is gonna submit LDAP jobs, what it's gonna do? System will consider whatever which are already created. Everything is gonna be considered. Means it's a one-time activity. So, for example, if I run now, the users which are already created in the system, the roles are already assigned to the respective users, that automatically synchronization can be happen with whatever the person latest is going to be run. Okay. So because that's going to work at instance level, it's not a specific, if I assign the role, I need to run it. If you assign the role, you need to run it, or someone assign the role in someone need to, no, it's not like that. It's going to be instance level. System will be considered. Okay. Fine. Even no need to wait till the program is completed. What you can do, just say sign out and sign in. So that now you can see the changes. Sometimes it may take 5 minutes or sometimes it may take 10 minutes. Maybe that should be due to the instance. Otherwise, hardly it's going to take within a 2 minutes or 3 minutes that will be available. Means privileges should be added. Let's try to sign in and we'll see that. Immediately when I see this, immediately I will get to know the privileges are, yes, it's added. Earlier you don't see these many privileges because some privileges by default it will get, right? The employee user once you assigned it. See here, under tools, this is added. And here, this is added. You know why it is added and all, right? Why this is added and why this IT security, security console is added?
The reason is that we have added the implementation user role, an employee role, and IT security manager role.
Perfect. Yes, correct. So that way we need to complete it. Yeah, fine.
Just
So
one,
mhm.
yeah, just one thing, like how to run the LDAP, the program from where?
That is some under tools. This is equivalent to view request in the EBS process, schedule process. This would be the common program which you can go ahead and run it for. Schedule new name, new process. So you can go ahead and run it for. Okay, run with
Okay,
the task and all. Yeah,
schedule new process.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so with this we have completed the activity related to user creation as well as okay. Now let's try to understand about let's try to understand about understanding on the employee user as well as the implementation user. Let's come here. Let's duplicate the windows. Okay. So now I want to take two examples. In our case, AORG, which is created now, and other user. So whenever you see this kind of error message, remove this after .com. So Jenny, are you following clearly? Or any doubts? Okay.
What is LDAP, this thing, directory in the sense?
No, basically, LLAPS is nothing but lightweight directory access protocol. That is a short name. Okay, the abbreviation is whatever which I said.
Yeah.
What it's gonna do, it will synchronize the definition. You have seen that, right? Whenever you try to submit LDAP jobs, you have seen that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that, for example, let's take Anil user is assigned few roles. To get that, if I assign the application implementation consultant, Anil should get a setup and maintenance. Example, I am considering. Okay. So once assign it, it's not mandatory to run it. Again, I'm telling you, it is not a mandatory. Since R12, since R13, it's made it as optional. But in this lower instances, better recommendation is to run it so that the roles related privileges that user will get that. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay.
So now, yeah. Any other question? Anil, any other question? Are we good?
Oh, we are good. We are good. Nivas.
Yeah, fine. So again, this is one of the user which I've queried, which is created by us. And another user which I'm going to showcase now, that is HCM IMPL1. Let's see here. Okay, let me take a sniping tool because rather coming this page, it will tough. Okay, even I cannot go ahead and explain better way. So better I can take a snipping tool. You can take any one of the snipping tool, either that or this does not matter. Okay, fine. This is your employee user, right? This is your implementation user. How I am saying that this is an implementation user, this is the employee user. Can anyone able to identify some information here?
Worker name?
Sorry?
Worker name?
Yes, this is the worker name information. Yes, good observation. So basically, whenever you create any invoice from the IT, I mean this security console, or this user will not have an employee information. This user is created by mapping the business unit and the person number automatically that will generate, and manager in case what is the job position and what is the department, and all these things will be come whenever you create the user as an employee user. This way you can identify it. Tomorrow, whenever you work in the application, if you notice something like, okay, which user is implementation user or which user is employee user and all, this way you can go ahead and verify it. Okay, fine. This way, of course, we have not created any employee user now. Just we have created only this user, and we'll discuss about how to create employee user and all once application is ready. Application is ready in the sense BU and legal entity should be ready. Okay, let's say done it for. Let's say cancel it. Yeah, we are clear with the definition, right? How to identify that and all fine. And as part of the basic fundamental information, so let's go ahead and talk about the geographical process. What is geographical process, guys? Anyone? What is geographical generally?
Region?
Region?
It's a region, right? Geographic in general means.
So yeah, yes, correct. So basically, geographical, let's take India, or let's take US, or let's take maybe Saudi Arabia, or let's take maybe some other country, Sri Lanka, whatever. Okay, or Russia, whatever. So every country has their own style. In India, we call as a pin code. In US, they call as a zip code. And address style in India, house number should be there. In US, address one should be there. Example I'm taking. Okay. There we see state, city, that should be there. Here also state, city should, I can say 50 or 60% of the activities remain same as part of the geographical address style, I can say. Okay. See the postal code, that is different. Here we are calling postal code is India, that is zip code they are calling. Okay. So whenever you create any location in the system, if I enter some junk characters ABC also as a state, system should allow. There is some controls. If I enter some, maybe example, Hyderabad city, which I'm trying to enter. If I enter one character wrong, instead of Hyderabad, if I miss A, just I directly update as a BD, Hyderabad. System won't recognize that. That validation system is going to take care. So where is the control? Let's go ahead and do that. For example, here, come back again here. So let's see here. I'm not going to create any location, but just to showcase, I'm going to do that. Okay. So let's say financials manage locations. Manage, and mostly the geographical information can come from the third party, or one dedicated person will be there to take care, but as a consultant we should know. Okay, I'm not going to create any location, just I'm trying to add it new location. Okay, I can go and search any existing also, but yeah, better to create it so that you guys can understand better. Example, let's take here some test location example. I'm not going to create it, just I'm trying to showcase this. Yeah, see here, if you select the country as United States, this would be the address style. Or if you select a different country, example, India, the address style would be different. See, it may automatically it will change. From where is the control and all, let me go ahead and showcase. Because this is very basic information, guys. See, city, town, pin code and all. Address one, pin code, state and time zone and all. Okay. Where is the control? So search with the task called as manage geographies. Manage geographies. Geographies. Under geographies, you can see, for example, whenever I try to create Address one, I can get some test one. Okay. Or okay, let's go back to US, United States. Fine. So here, generally it won't take time, but yeah, it's taking time. That's okay. Fine, no issues. So it's let it update and come here. Mini geography is here. Which country you wanted to search it for? I wanted to search it for United States. United States. Okay. So here, if you see here, geo define address. This by default should be there. Here, validation or hierarchy. If you wanted to see hierarchy means like sequence, country, state, county, city, and postal code. This would be the style, address style. Okay, every country has their own style. Right here, in the system, in this environment, they define country, state, country's head, and under country, state, under state, county, under county, you can go ahead and have city, under city, you'll have a one postal code. Okay, so fine. Here in United States, let's see. For example, here, okay, this is address style. I mean, I wanted to showcase hierarchy and validation should be there here. Okay, for example, if you come here, validation part, if I disable it, enable list of values. For example, here, if I enter something, whatever the number, that will be accepted. Even example, if I enter some number also, that will be accepted whenever you disable it. If I enable it, I cannot go ahead and enter the junk characters here. See, this is not allowing because invalid. So if you don't want to do the validation, just disable it so that this would be the control. Okay. Why we need to enable this as a mandatory? Because there are some tax calculations supposed to be based on the location. For that reason, ensure this to be enabled in the system. By default, that should be enabled. But as a consultant, we should know where is a control having an enablement for that respective activity. Okay. So here, GIF code system is not accepting anything because something which I updated like as a validation is required. I cannot go and enter any junk characters. That should be come from the value from the drop down list. You can go and update some address line, whatever address line you can enter it, no problem. That should be accepted. This way you can go and have a, yes, go ahead please, Abhishek.
Yeah, so Nivas, this validation, you mean suppose I'm just taking an hypothetical example like zip code or postal code. In India, it might be 5-digit length. In US, it might be 6-digit or maybe less 4 digits. So these validations will be maintained in the system through this managed geographic stacks, right?
Yes, correct, correct.
S- s-
And also, let me complete it. And also, this for this generally all the companies means clients, so they will use some third party services, example Vertex. Okay, so the feed will come in case any changes worldwide, any some new cities are added, any postal codes are updated, any addresses are updated and all, Vertex is gonna taken care. Or else, for example, let's say you are working for one XYZ company, you may have one team member particularly dedicatedly to take care to upload this geographical information, updating them manually also. That is also possible. But it's not a consultant duty to do that. That should be admin team supposed to take care.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions? You thought to ask something? Is that clear now?
Yeah, it's clear. It's
Yeah,
clear.
fine. Fine. This is all about your look, I mean the validation part. Guys, these are whatever we discussed so far. Don't think that like it's not related to subject. This is very moreover not related to subject, but these are also some fundamentals I can say. Whenever you start working on that, you should know how to enable the offerings, the importance of the role, creating the users, the project creations, and geographical validation, checking the version updates, yeah, and under offerings or how many options which we have, how to enable that and all. This to be definitely we should know. Most of the people is going to be lagging here once they join in the organization. Maybe they try to get it. Okay, experienced candidate they may get from colleagues or else maybe they might aware already, but this would be the fundamental information should know as a consultant. It's not particularly for finance team or some SCM team. It should be applicable for all the streams. Okay. Shall we go ahead and discuss on the further points, or if you guys are clear? All of you. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's clear for mine.
Yeah. So, Jenya, everything is clear for you?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Okay. Anil, anything? Pradeep?
No, Nivas, I'm good.
Okay, fine.
Yes, I'm clear.
Okay, fine. Now, let's go ahead and understand. Okay, before starting these topics and all, let's go ahead and understand about the enterprise structure. What is enterprise structure in general? Enterprise structure definitely, okay, it's going to be starts with enterprise. Example, Tata Limited is one enterprise. Tata Limited enterprise, we are going to record in the system officially. We are not at all going to be record. I mean, anywhere we are not going to be registered. Enterprise is nothing but having a, what I can say, having a multiple companies under which, or under the tree, I can say, under that umbrella. Example, Reliance Limited, Tata Limited. Okay. So, where under enterprise will have a division. Tata Limited is enterprise, under which I have a divisions like India. Within India, I may have a South division, North division like that. Or else maybe whenever you talk about the countries divisions like UK division, APAC division, or else US South division or US North division, example like that. And primary ledgers. Remember, every country we need to have one ledger. Definitely we need to. Here, enterprise and division, this is going to be part of the HCM team can take care it. HCM, Human Capital Management team can take care it. But anyway, I'm going to showcase that. Primary ledger, this should be the main source to track all the financial information related. All will going to be patched here. You can go ahead and generate the reports under primary ledger. Every country we need to have a separate ledger. For example, I'm running a business in 5 countries. I need to have 5 separate ledgers for India, UK, Singapore, Thailand, Sri Lanka, whatever the countries which are going to run for. I cannot go ahead and use one ledger for multiple countries. Each country wise, you need to maintain one ledger. And legal entities, yes, in India, I may have a n number of legal entities, but I need to map that legal entities to ledger. Remember, one legal entity should be mapped to one ledger, but you can go ahead and add more than one also. You can go ahead and do that. Simultaneously, under one legal entity, you need to map one mandatory, you need to map one business unit. Simultaneously, you can go ahead and add n number of business units to your legal entity. And inventory organization, this is in case you wanted to maintain inventory organization. Yes, inventory organization, you can go ahead and manage it, and that should be mapped to your business unit. We used to call that as a OU, means operating unit in EBS, BU is in a cloud terminology. That way the enterprise structure should be. So example, let's take here Tata Limited, Sri Lanka, Australia, or US. And ledger should be their example, US primary ledger, India primary ledger, and UK primary ledger, under which you can go ahead and have one legal entity or a number of legal entities under one ledger, but one should be mapped. Same way for business unit, you can go ahead and have n number of business unit, but one should be mapped. To fulfill this configuration process and all, at least from here, ledger need to map one legal entity. You need to map one business unit to legal entity. This is a mandatory thing. We'll discuss in detail in the processes how it is going to be interlinked and how this is to be correlated. Okay, are you clear with the enterprise structure concept? Are any doubts, please, on
So,
this?
enterprise, Nivas, enterprise refers to the group, right?
Yes, correct. Yes, correct.
Okay. And
Example Tata Limited. Yeah, example Tata Limited. Yes.
okay. And legal entity refers to the subsidiary companies under that group, right?
Yes.
whatever.
Legal entity is simple. You can understand in other, simple terminology like company. Simple company.
Okay.
Okay. Because company level, I cannot go ahead and record anything. Company just it's going to be used to have whatever the transactions which are part of, but ledger will be the main source here. How it is interlinked and all, we'll discuss about that whenever you start doing activity. Everything is going to be discussed. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, fine. So with this, I wanted to consider like all the basic fundamental discussions, understanding about all these points along with the enterprise structure. So now let's go ahead and start with the configuration. Yes. Okay. So let me do one thing. Okay. Before starting, just I wanted to showcase one important thing. Example here. This is one of the sheet. Okay, fine. We have decided to implement that. Okay. We have decided to implement the application. Of course, there are some documents to be prepared and all. So early to understand, we'll discuss about that later point of time. Once you thoroughly understand the concept, example, RD11s, MC50s and all, just keep aside at this moment. Once the training is completed, then we'll talk about dedicatedly, like, maybe 4 to 5 sessions should be sufficient to understand about all the definitions. I will share some samples to you so that you guys will be clear about that. Okay. So here, if you see, this will be the generic cutover plan sheet generally, okay, in the real time example, okay. So here, if you see, let's remove the filters, all the team activities, which team is going to be part of and all, you can see this. This way, the project manager will maintain one sheet under which we need to go ahead and filter with our stream, that is financial stream. So our first financial stream is going to be mappings, COA things need to be done. But here, when it coming to our activity, this to be completed. Until unless these two are not completed, you cannot go ahead and start with your things. Okay. So how that should be handled? As I said, Oracle is giving a flexibility to us, to complete the activities even other team is not available. Example, in our case, HCMT is not available as part of training. But even though we have flexibility to do that, let's go ahead and do. See, generally this would be the normal sheet which we can refer it for what to be configuration and all. This is more or similar to the individual module wise configuration here. All this should be there. Okay. But here somewhere that may be missed, but here everything is going to be available here. Okay. So the configuration. So what you can do, let's try to go and update the structure definition, how that should be and all. So whenever you do these common activities with other teams related, okay, try to do it from the global search. Can you tell someone how to navigate to global search here? Here I'm in a home page. How to navigate global search?
Yeah, there is a task list right in the right side.
Yeah, the search
Here it is.
studios. Yeah. So that manage isn't right. See here. Yes, this is something one-time setup and this generally done by the HCM team, but it's not required. But just to understand the total flow, for that reason, I'm just in the real time, you can see this kind of sheet. So which team is going to perform what activities and all, you can see all this finance team. Okay, HCM team. All this should be there. Okay, who is going to be do that and all. Okay. There is the, yeah. Come here. Let's say correct it. By default, that should be there as a vision corporation. And what naming convention you wanted to consider? For example, ARC. It's a test instance, same like me. A number of people will come and modify it. But in the real time, it's a one-time activity. This is not at all going to be updated by other people because only the respective team should be there. I'm using this as a AR corporation example. Okay, let's just save it. This basically you can see the shift timings and all, work day, work start time, end time, and all these things. It's not required for us to understand. This is part of purely HCM, but HCM team is not there. Just I'm showcasing how to update that. That's it. Okay. Let's say yes. Let's say okay. Let's say done it for. Fine. Next. Division. Division is not mandatory again. Division is optional. Based on the requirement, we can go ahead and define it, or else you can simply leave it. For example, here, let's say I will create one sample division, a pack division. I'm trying to create it for, and internal address line, you can keep that as it is, and status is active. Let's say, in case you wanted to add any location address, you can update it. And another thing you need to understand here is, wherever you see star mark, it's mandatory. Wherever you see blank, it's not mandatory. Let's say click on next. And who is going to part of, or who is going to take care about this reporting manager, respective manager name and the manager designation, you can select it here. In case if you have, as the test instance, I'm leaving that as blank, and let's say submit it. So division is going to be created. So that way you can go ahead and define the enterprise as well as the division. This is purely HCM related activities, not from the finance end. Okay. So now our activity is going to be started. So let's come back to enterprise structure again. You can correlate, guys. Try to understand, try to correlate it. Okay. So now, where is that enterprise structure? Yeah. These two are done. Good. I cannot go ahead and define the ledger directly. If I want to define the ledger, what other things which are going to be mandatory? Let's come here. If I want to define the ledger, 4 C's are going to be mandatory. 4 C's. Can anyone elaborate what are 4 C's, please? In case we are having idea. 4 C's.
Yeah,
What are...
calendar, currency, and chart of account.
Okay. And what are the things? Only 3, right? You said?
Accounting
Sorry.
structure.
Currency, calendar, chart of accounts. What other thing?
Accounting method, convention
Yes,
method.
Convention method, yes.
Yeah.
Chart of accounts, calendar, then currency, as well as the convention method. So these 4 are mandatory. If I want to define the ledger, for that reason, you need to ensure calendar to be defined, currency to be defined, value set to be defined, structure to be defined, and structure instance to be defined. Here, once you're ready with this, then only I can go ahead and define the ledger. These are all the prerequisites, and these are all the mandatory things. Whenever I try to define the ledger, system is going to ask to update all other things, calendar, currencies, and all. Okay, for that reason, you need to complete it. Okay, fine. So here, don't think like, here something which we are going to define it, maybe first this, and later, no. Here, which we have tracked in a sequence. Without defining the structure, I cannot go ahead and define the structure instance. Without defining the structure instances and all, I cannot go ahead and define the ledger. Without defining the ledger, I cannot go ahead and define the specified ledger options. Everything is going to be interlinked to each other activity. Not only for this respective module, it's going to be applicable for all. Yes, transaction process, yes. You want to do it first this, or you want to do it this, no problem. You can do it, no problem. But transaction, as a configuration point of view, we need to understand that everything we need to follow the sequence. Okay, some maybe 1% or 2%. Yes, we can skip something and can go ahead and move on. But 99% of the cases, you need to go ahead and follow the sequence. Okay, fine. Let's go and define the accounting calendar. First and foremost thing, the configuration which you are starting. Guys, I'm gonna considering the country called as US. I'm trying to do the implementation for one ledger, one legal entity, one BU. This is my requirement. Based on this knowledge, you guys can go ahead and define a number of multiple ledgers, multiple BUs, multiple legal entities. You can go ahead and enhance your skills. But here, end-to-end process, we are going to discuss about particularly for one ledger, one country. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So manage accounting calendar. Manage and ensure whenever you try to perform any accounting related configuration, this financial setup should be there. Okay? Financial setup option should be financial. Don't select other one, that won't come. Okay, manage accounting calendar. So in this test instance, I can see these many. Ignore about it. In the real time, you cannot see all this information. You see this as a blank. Whenever you do the fresh implementation, I mean, if we are already implemented your WhatsApp supporting project? Yes. Whatever the calendars which are available, that particular client which is implemented, that should be available. Only one calendar generally use, one or two or maybe three based on the requirement. Otherwise, you don't see this many. It is a test instance. I can see today we are going to create it. Tomorrow you guys can go and start doing preparation with your own naming convention and all. Okay. So for that reason, you need to ensure, don't worry about by seeing all these things. It's a test instance. I can see. Yes, I'm going to create it. Remember, if you wanted to query the existing one, yes, I can go ahead and query. You can go ahead and modify later also. But in our case, we want to do it from the scratch. I don't want to use anything. As I said, we are following this AORG1 accounting calendar. We are going to follow this naming convention. Whenever you do your preparation, follow one naming convention. It will be helpful to you to understand or to query the details, whatever which are available. Because if I follow different naming convention, whenever I wanted to query something, for me, it's very tough to remember. If I follow one naming convention, it will be easy. In the real time, that should be decided by the client, the names, naming conventions and all. Okay. So here you can see starting month. So which day onwards you wanted to create a calendar? I'm considering US 1/1/25. I'm considering the period frequency should be monthly or 4 week, 4 week, 5 week, 4 week, 5 week, 4 week, 4 week, 5 week, 4 week, 4 week, monthly, quarterly, weekly. Yes, we have these options. Don't confuse 4, 4, 5 means 4 weeks first month, immediate month 4 weeks, again 5 weeks. Simultaneously, that's going to be repeated. Okay. In our case, let's go ahead and go ahead with the monthly. Generally, 99% of the cases, not 99, 100% of the cases will be used by monthly only. Okay. So the format and first period automatically based on this automatical that will be considered. In case you wanted to use the same calendar for budget control, you can enable it or else you can disable it. Okay. So here number of, one second. Yeah. One second. This is something got updated. One second. Let me try to create it. See, the got changed. Okay. So AORG1 accounting. So this is going to be changed. For that reason, recommendation is used to have a separate calendar for the budgets. Okay. So fine. Yeah. And here, adjustment period. It's very, very important because adjustment period means nothing but, for example, let's take 12 months. Generally, the period should be something which is missed. The periods are closed. You can go ahead and enter that in the adjustment period so that whatever missing, whatever activities which are missed in the previous or in the past months, that can be adjusted in the adjustment period. So adjustment period can be once at year end, twice at year end, or one in mid-year and one last year. Whatever first 6 months which can be missed, first mid-year, and last 6 months can be tracked in our last second year and twice at end year, right? This one. So or else quarterly also. Every quarter will have one adjustment period so that 4 adjustment period will be generated. One adjustment period for first to 3 months, second adjustment period for next to 3 months, third adjustment period for next 3 months, and last adjustment period for the last 3 months. So that way that should be. Generally, we are going to use this once at a year end. Once at a year end means whatever the activities which are missed in the closed periods, you can go ahead and enter it here. Okay. So what you can do, once you update all these things, let's say click on next. See, automatical system will take care. In EBS, it's not like that. We need to let's click on add, and we need to type that months and all. But here it's not like that. If you see 12 months and this is going to be 13 month is going to be recorded. 13 month is 13 December it will be and 13 month, and this should be adjustable period. Automatical system will take care. Whatever you enter, that should be falls under this date, under this period, so that it won't disturb or it not at all going to be recorded all the previous months. Okay. That's how the application is implemented. Let's say, okay. Let's say save. For example, today we are in 2025. Once the 2025 is entered, we need to add the calendar. It's very simplified process. Once you save it, you can see the plus icon. Just to click on it. That's it. Automatically, system will create the next year periods. See, add it. For example, 2025. The next period supposed to be created here is 2026. Simply, you can go ahead and add it. You see here, 2025, and just say add here 2026. Save it again. See, now 2 years will be there. Okay, 1 second, it's not saved. You can see the waiting symbol. It's very simplified process, guys. In EBS, it's not like that. When I was working as an end user, I need to open the periods, create a period for 5 years at a time. Means every time I need to enter place 1 month, 1 month, 1 month, and if I need to ensure that month format, everything looks good or not. Okay. See, 2026 and 2025. See, the next period is going to be 2027. Means to create here, first period, don't confuse. First period is not going. Next available and next period supposed to be created as Jan 27. Okay. This way you can go ahead and create the calendar. You wanted to search it. If you remember the name, you can simply, if I don't follow one naming convention, for me it's very tough. Okay, today it's only accounting calendar. Tomorrow, if I follow the configuration, I may need to do 100 activities, configurations. So it's not easy to remember. For that reason, we'll follow one naming convention. Okay. This is all about your accounting calendar. As part of the force is one activity is completed. Next, currencies, it's very straightforward. So basically in Oracle, all the major currencies, I mean worldwide, I can say, all the currencies should be available here. Let's say manage currencies. Don't update anything. Let's click on search because two are optional fields. Let's say, guys, another thing, all the task, mostly, I cannot say that 100%, 75 to 80, maybe you can consider 85 or 90%. Most of the task starts with manage. And every activity will have their own task name also. You need to be very particular on that. Okay. If you know the task name, at least 15% of the learning is completed because that much information we need to keep that in our mind on the task name. Without having a task name, I cannot go ahead and query the existing calendar, or I cannot go ahead and create a calendar. If I know the task name, simply I can go ahead and query this task. I can go ahead and create it. Okay. Let's just search it. See all currencies which are available. For example, this currency is disabled. This currency may not be available from your drop-down list whenever you create it. Ensure that should be available. Or else, in case if some currency is not available in the system, let's simply go ahead and add it. Add it. Just say add it. Here, what is the name? What is the currency code? Name, description, and you can go ahead and update it. You wanted to end date it, you can go ahead and end date it. Or else, if you disable it also, no problem. That won't available here. Disable it, end date is also no problem. So in our case, we wanted to consider for USD. Ensure USD is there and this is enabled. If I end date this, for example, as part of testing, I end date it. This may not be applicable for all the users who are going to be use this instance. For that reason, we need to be very particular. We never edit any existing configuration in the system. Okay, let's say save and close. Yes, by default that should be there. In case it's not there, you can go ahead and just say add it, update it. This is all about your currency part, currency's definition. Okay. The next, value sets. Value sets are, it's going to be defined the segment information. So where if I wanted to define the structure, I need to define the value sets. Until unless if I don't define the value sets, I cannot go ahead and define the structure. So what is value sets? Value sets basically to determine the future of the segments. So for example, you can see here the segments. So remember, you can go ahead and define up to 30 segments. What are the 30 segments? Example, here this is one segment. This is one segment, company, department, account, future one, future two. Or else you wanted to use like as a product, line of business, intercompany. Okay, so all of the things, same way you can go ahead and define up to 30 segments so that whenever you define this, another important thing you need to understand here is it's a one-time setup which we need to do in the system. Once the application is configured with the respective segments, you cannot go ahead and edit later point of time. If you wanted to edit something, you need to close the existing application. You need to do the fresh implementation again. Okay, so how to define that handle? Here, see example, in our case, we'll go ahead with the 5 segments. So as I said here, we are going to follow the naming convention like as a AORG company. Okay, one is not required. Okay, just will follow ORG. Okay. AORG. 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 Okay. These 5 segments, we are going to do that. Here, company will become as a primary balance segment. And another thing, 30, you can go ahead and create up to 30, but in our case, we are considering 5. In real time, maximum cases, 8 or 9 segments should be there. Example, maybe product or line of business. Okay, so or else maybe intercompany or some other maybe like subnominals should be there. That totally depends on the business. And when it comes into the reality, all this finalization can be done by the solution architect. Separate team would be there to define or to finalize the structure definition and all. Okay, sometimes we may get a chance based on the opportunity, but that is a core activity be done by the solution architect from the organization. Every company will maintain the solution architects to finalize the chart of accounts and other what I can say development area to be consideration, what to be considered and all. Okay. So this you can go ahead and define the structures definition and all. Okay, value set definition we can go ahead and define it. Yeah, it's already 8:14, so I don't want to start today. Tomorrow what we can do, value set definition, structure, instance, all these things we'll try to complete it tomorrow. Definitely it will be completed, no problem. Hardly will complete it, and also we'll start with the and another thing, this is something manual process. We are trying to understand it. Whatever we are trying to define the calendar, currencies and all, we are trying to understand the concept of how to create a manual. But there is another process called as a through rapid sheet. How to define the rapid sheet and also we are going to discuss, because if you're aware about the manual process, how to define all these tasks, whenever you prepare through rapid sheet, so that you will easily simplify wherever it is got stuck in case. Without knowing the manual process, if you wanted to directly prepare the rapid sheet process, if you wanted to follow that, it will become tough. For that reason, I am showcasing manually. If I showcase in a spreadsheet, one session would be sufficient. But even though I'm 2 days, I wanted to spend it here just to understand the process so that it will be clear for you. Tomorrow it should not be kind of question in case if I want to do create a manually and all. So in the real time, maximum cases, if it's a based on the country to country, if it's a big clients, they may use spreadsheet. If the small one-to-one implementation which you do, that should be followed with a manual. Means manually how we are trying to do it, same way that they are going to be followed. Out of my 6 clients, 4 clients we have followed manual and 2 clients which are followed by the spreadsheet. That is totally depends on the country to country and client to client. Okay? So fine. With this, I wanted to conclude. Any questions, please? Abhishek, Lucky, Deep, sorry, Saujanya, Deep. Before conclude.
Nivas, can you share this Excel sheet? Is it possible?
Yes, just I'm looking for the what I can say. I'm looking for the read-only access. How to do that? Maybe what you can do, just whenever you refer it, this anyway the sheet will be showing, right? Just try to maintain in one Excel. That's what I said, right? So it will be easy for you to track from your personal, I mean, personal laptop or my personal desktop also. Okay, but yes, I will share it. But I'm just looking for the read-only access. How to do that and all. So once that is done, maybe this Saturday I will take some time. So going forward, so that once the session is completed, I'm gonna keep update that in the email. Okay?
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Just allow me like 2 days. This anyway, today is Wednesday. We are in a mid of week. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, Saturday I will take some time and I will try to know something like how to give a read-only access and all. Okay? To share that and also let me look for that recordings. I hope it's getting and Hope you guys can able to see that without having any challenges. In case any challenges, just let me know.
Yeah.
So that
And
yeah.
going forward, Nivas, will it be shared via YouTube only, or like you will be sharing it via G Drive, or like?
No, YouTube would be the better option, right? Even if you do the G drive also, that is fine. But I mean, YouTube is a better option, right? You can go ahead and just simply go ahead and refer it. All the
Okay.
videos one by one, one by one. So anyway, I'm gonna share one Excel also. I'm tracking like day one recording, day two recording and all. So that what it's gonna do you. So I will share that Excel along with this course curriculum. You can go ahead and refer it at any time so that guys can have access to entire time so that you can simply refer based on your need. Okay, that I'm
Okay.
gonna track it. Yeah.
Got
Okay, so yeah, fine. So with this we can conclude and see you tomorrow, and we'll try to conclude about the configuration of total GL manual process. And also we'll try to understand how to download the spreadsheet and how to prepare the sheet and how to validate the data and all. We'll discuss about that. Okay. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow we'll conclude everything and we'll start with the transaction process also, like creating the journals and all these things. Okay. Fine. Okay. Take care, guys, and have a good day. It's already 8:18. That's fine. And see you tomorrow. Start doing your preparation and let me know in case any questions. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye
it.
bye.